ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम् परित्यज्य मौनं वठादस्थितिं च व्रजन् भारतस्य प्रदेशात् प्रदेशम् मधुस्यन्दिवाचा जनान् धर्ममार्गे नयन् श्रीजयेन्द्रो गुरुर्वादिचित्ते नमामः शङ्करान् वाक्यविजयेन्द्र सरस्वती श्रीगुरुं शिष्टमार्गानुनेतारं सन्मतिप्रदं सत्यनारायणक्षेत्रात् सत्यव्रतमुपागतम् आश्रये कामकोटीशं सत्यश्रीचन्द्रशेखरं सद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। In the Karma Yoga Adhyaya, we are seeing shlokas that are very relevant to all of us because we are neither complete jnanis, we are not complete ajnanis. We are somewhere in the middle. And Krishna says, Indriyasyendriyasyarthe ragadveshau vyavasthitau tayoho na vashamagachet tauyasya paripanthinau. Hey Arjuna, we all have free will. There is always this discussion between fatalistic and free will. And here Krishna says, hey Arjuna, everything does not happen according to fate. Because if everything happens according to fate, there will be no scope for free will. But here Krishna says, hey, you do have a free will. The first thought that you get, it could be related to your fate. The very first thought that we get, it could be related to your fate. Because when we say fate here, we have to be a bit careful. We should not understand the fate from a Western philosophy point of view. So when we say fate, it more means vasanas. A child, when it is born, nobody has to teach the child how to drink milk from the mother. If we think about it, a simple act of drinking milk from mother, for a child, it is going to involve about 20 muscles. It has to suck the milk out. It has to ingest it. It has to swallow the milk without milk going to its lungs. We think it is a very easy process, but it is not an easy process. From a mechanistic point of view, many things can go wrong. Who is teaching the child how to suck the milk out of mother? Who is teaching the child how to swallow the milk? When we have to swallow the milk should not go inside the wind pipe. And remember, the child will not be sitting upright. The child, when initially drinks milk, it will be in a tiryak position. It will be in a horizontal position. Normally, even for us, when we want to drink something, when we are lying down, it is very, very hard. But for a child, it is easier. It can easily do it because of vasanas. So science cannot explain that. But our Shastra explains that in terms of vasanas. Child has got vasanas. Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani, Jatare Shayanam. So the child has got taken lots of birth. In all those birth, the child has learnt it. It is like muscle memory. You drive to your work daily. Probably for initial couple of days, you have to be very careful. You put everything into your driving and all. But after that, even without you knowing, when the street comes, you will take a right turn or the left turn. Even without you knowing, you will be like putting turn signal and all. He will do even without you knowing it. We call that as muscle memory, right? So Shastra calls that as vasanas. In the case of driving, it is the memory that you have gained over a couple of days, probably months or even years. But in the case of basic functions, like a child drinking milk, a child crying, we do all these things. How do we know that? Who taught us these things? It is our vasanas. Previously you have taken lots of manusya janma. So it is this vasana, we call that as fate. And it is not only a physical process, it is also a mental and emotional process. The mental maturity of a person, the emotional stability of a person, all these things are because of vasana as well. You are in a particular situation. How do you react to that particular situation? According to your vasana, you will react. Okay. You have an adverse situation, you react. You can make it more adverse or you can make it much more better. How do you do now? Shastra say, first because of vasanas, that is how you will start to react. But here Krishna says, hey, while you cannot change your vasanas, you can take control of your mind. Indriyasya indriyasyarthe ragadvesham vyavasthitam tayoho na vashamagachet. Do not become a slave of your vasanas. If you become a slave of your vasanas, kama indriyasya indriyasyarthe ragadvesham vyavasthitam. So the raga and the dvesha here are vasanas. So if you become a slave of your vasanas, then it is a fatalistic approach towards life. You will never be able to change because vasanas, by training, you are trained to be born, you are trained to die. Birth and death is the training that the vasana gives. But what do we have to do? We want to escape from the cycle of birth and death. So do not yield to your vasanas. Do not yield to your vasanas. Do not yield to your raga dveshas. Because when you yield to your raga dveshas, what will happen? You will start doing things which you are not supposed to do. I'll tell you an example. You are a Brahmana. A Brahmana has to wake up very early in the morning. Brahmana has to do Sandhya Vandanam 3 times a day. Let us just take Sandhya Vandanam as an example. So that is the Swadharma of Brahmana. But I have a Raga and I have Dvesha. Raga means desire. Dvesha means anger. I don't want to do this. That is called as Dvesha. I have Raga, desire to sleep in. I have a Dvesha to get up. I have Raga, desire to sleep till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning. And I have a Dvesha to get up, especially when it is cold outside. So as a result of it, what will happen? My morning Sandhya Vandanam will be gone. My morning Sandhya Vandanam is gone. As a Brahmana, a person will have lots of regulations on food. You can only eat certain things. You should not eat other things. You should only eat from certain people's house. You should not eat from other people's. So lots of restrictions are there. But I have a raga. Raga means what? I have a desire to eat, very fancy food. I go to restaurants. I eat all those food. What is going to happen? I lose my swadharma. What is the swadharma? Swadharma of a brahmana is to have a regulation of the food that you eat. Mahabharata talks about that in Devatin Kural. The food that you eat is very, very important, especially for a sadhaka, because it dictates your mind. Whatever you do, it will be affected by the food that you eat, says Shastra. So if you eat indiscriminately, your mind is going to be affected. If your mind is going to be affected, you cannot do your sadhana. But I have a raga, a desire to eat tasty foods, desire to eat outside food. Then what am I doing? I am losing my swadharma. So the moment raga and dvesha comes, swadharma goes. Even if you remember, that is how the Bhagavad Gita itself started. When Arjuna says, "Hey Krishna, I don't want to kill, I don't want to enter into a war with Bhishma, Drona, etc." Arjuna has got a raga towards Bhishma and Drona. And what does he say? Arjuna says, "Hey, I don't want to do this war, but I want to take to Brahmacharyam. Sorry, Bhikshacharanam. I want to become a sannyasi." So the swadharma of Arjuna is to fight the war. But because of raga, Arjuna does not want to fight the war. He is taking to somebody else's dharma. So what does raga and dvesha do? Raga and dvesha will make you move away from your swadharma. If you imagine, you have got vasanas on one hand. On the other hand, you also have got Bhagavad Kripa. You have got vasanas on one hand, which makes you to like Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Marana. Because vasanas are imprints. You have never experienced moksha. So vasana does not even know what is moksha look like. Vasana does not know. So whatever vasana wants to do, it is going to give you more janma. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jataresharinam, iha samsare bahudustare, kripaya pare, pahi murare, bhaja govindam, govindam bhaja mudante. While we have vasanas, we also have to remember that we also have got Bhagavad Kripa. We also have got some blessings from Bhagavan. How do you know now? The very fact that we are interested in Bhagavad Gita, the very fact that we are interested in moksha, how many people you know within our own circle, they even know that a word called as moksha exists. And even if they know, how many people are actively pursuing moksha? And people who pursue moksha, how many people listen to lectures like Bhagavad Gita or Upanishads, etc. Jnana devata kaivalya. Only jnanas can give you moksha, Shastra says. How many people are working towards that? Even people who want to get moksha, who want to read Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, study Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, etc. How many people have got a guru? So we have got all these things. It means that we have got some Bhagavad Kripa as well. Bhagavad Kripa in terms of our Swadharma. Now you are born in a family which can pursue, which allows you to do Bhagavad Gita. But what does your Raga Dvesha going to do? Your Raga Dvesha is going to take you away from moksha. You have got Bhagavad Gita, you have got Bhagavad Kripa that takes you towards moksha. Right? Now you have to be very, very careful. You have to follow your Swadharma. your swadharma. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha. Paradharmat swanishthitat. Swadharme nidhanam shreyaha. Paradharmo bhayavaha. You follow your swadharma. Because your swadharma means you are born in a certain varna and you are in a certain ashrama. Out of all the karmas that you have seen, karmas, in probability, when people teach probability, this is how they used to teach. You have a sack full of, 100 red balls, 200 blue balls, 500 green balls. You are putting your hand, you are randomly picking 5 balls. What is the probability that the 5 balls is going to have this much red ball, this much green ball, this much blue ball? This is a very famous problem in probability. Actually, this is how we are born. We have got a sack full of karma. We have a sack full of punya karma, papa karma. We have a sack full of different vasanas. What does Bhagavan do? All the sack is called as Sanchita Karma. Bhagavan is going to put his hand inside that sack and then he is going to take a couple of karmas. He is going to take a handful of karmas and he is going to bless you with that karma. And you will be born according to that karma. Right? That is called as prarabdha karma. So you have got a sum total of all karmas. The sum total of all karmas will have all the bad things, will have some good things as well. But Bhagavan now, when Bhagavan gave us this janma, the handful of karma that Bhagavan picked up, obviously it is going to have lots of punya karma because it is what makes us to listen Bhagavad Gita. Right? So when Bhagavan gives us this janma, that is the prarabdha karma that Bhagavan blesses us with. And you are born in a certain varna. You are born in a certain ashrama. All of your swadharma is based on that prarabdha karma that Bhagavan has picked up. So, when Bhagavan gives you a janma, that is because of your prarabdha karma, but Bhagavan can also pick and choose. Bhagavan has picked and chose those karma that enabled you to have this particular janma in a particular varna, in a particular ashram. So follow that varna and ashrama dharmas. Swadharmo shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanishthitat swadharme nidhanam shreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. So even though you will have your own raga dvesha because of vasanas, because of Bhagavad Kripa, you have attained certain janma. And because of Bhagavad Kripa, you have some icha for moksha. So follow that swadharma. Swadharmo nidhanam shreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. When you follow your own dharma, it is always shreyas. It is always shreyas karam. When you follow your own dharma, it is going to give you shreyas because shreyaha is moksha. You are going to get moksha. Paradharmo bhayavaha. If I yield towards my raga and dvesha, if I yield to my raga dvesha, it gives you bhayam. Why not? It gives me samsara. Samsara is bhayam. Right? There is a beautiful shloka. If I have lots of money, then I will have bhayam towards the king because he is going to give me lots of taxes. If I have lots of vidya, lots of knowledge, then I will have bhayam towards a person who wants to argue with me, who wants to go into debate with me because he can, I'll have bhayam that, okay, he's going to debate and then he's going to win me over. Like that, there are going to be lots of things. Whatever things we think is going to give us security, all those things are going to be the reason for bhayam. Vairagyameva bhayam. ஒரு ஸ்லோகம் உண்டு. So swadharmo nidanam shreyaha paradharma sunushtitat dharmo nidanam shreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. So don't follow somebody else's dharma. Why do we want to follow somebody else's dharma? Why do we want to renounce our own dharma and follow somebody else's dharma? Because of raga dvesha. So do not yield to your raga dvesha. Now Arjuna is going to have a question. Arjuna uvacha athakena prayuktoham papam charati purushaha anichannapi varshneya baladivat niyojitaha. Hey Krishna, if that being the case, what being the case? You get your Janma because of Bhagavad Kripa. I told you, right? We get our Janma because of Bhagavan's Kripa. Outer out Bhagavan's Kripa. I have a very good family. I have a family that supports my journey towards moksha. I have our situation, conditions are okay. We do not have to be very rich and all, but we are okay so that we can spend some time on moksha. We can spend some time towards studying Bhagavad Gita. So all these things are Bhagavad Kripa. When you say that, then why should people do any papa? Because Bhagavad Kripa is there. Bhagavan has given this Janma. So Bhagavan has blessed this person a lot. Right? Then why should people do papa? Acha kena prayuktoham papam charati purushaha. Why should we all do papa? Right? People miss Sandhya Vandanam. People miss puja. People who are sishtas. I'm not like they are not bad people per se. They want to follow dharma. Right? I want to follow dharma, but for some reason I'm going to slip from following dharma. It has happened to all of us. It would have happened to all of us. No, I want to do something, but the situation is that I won't be able to do that. Athakena prayuktoham papam charati. We all do papam. How do we do papam? Anichannapi varshneya baladiva niyojitaha. I don't have an ichha to do papam. I want to do Sandhya, but I don't do Sandhya. I missed it. I don't have an ichha. I don't want to do papa. In the case of Duryodhana, he wanted to do papa. In the last class I might have told you, somebody advised Duryodhana, hey Duryodhana, maybe you don't know what is dharma and what is adharma. That is why you are doing all adharma. Duryodhana said, no, that is not the case. I know what is dharma. I also know what is adharma. But the thing is that I don't want to follow dharma. I want to do adharma. I know what is dharma. I know what is adharma. I don't want to follow dharma. I want to follow adharma. Janami dharmam nachame pravrittihi. Janami adharmam nachame nivrittihi. Janami adharmam nachame nivrittihi. I know we are not like that. We know what is dharma. We know what is adharma. If you ask most of the people is going to say, okay, I want to follow dharma. I do not want to take to adharma. But even in those people, situation under double quotes will make them to do papam. Anichan apivarshni. Icha means desire. even without desire to do papa, papam charati purushaha, they do papam. They do papam. How do they do papam? Na baladivani yojitaha. As if somebody is forcing them to do papam. Helpless. I'm helpless. I know what I'm doing is papam, but somebody is forcing me in a putuchu taldra. Arjuna is asking, hey Krishna, why is that case? When everything happens because of Bhagavad Kripa, when we get our janma because of some Bhagavad Kripa, then why should people do papa? And more importantly, how can we escape from doing papam? I don't want to do papam, but somebody is forcing me to do papam. How can I escape from doing that papam? Very, very important question for Krishna asked by Arjuna. Very relevant question for all of us. Krishna is going to answer it elaborately, which we will see in the next class. Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Harihi Om Namadas Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Shri Guru Pyo Namaha